Good morning and welcome to Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us today. We're grateful for your presence and believe you're here by divine appointment. Today, we dedicate our service to the fathers among us. Fathers, we honor you and recognize your essential contributions to our lives. We hope you have a wonderful Father's Day. And also on this Juneteenth weekend, we honor the freedom that dwells within every human heart. We call it forth as one light that dissolves separation and manifests as the experience of true freedom and loving community for each and all. We thank our African American leaders for their deep understanding of freedom and their leadership in these days. I am practitioner Christine Duval, and others helping in the service today are on tech, our indispensable Annette Martinez and her team, Michael Cowden and Gwyneth Welsh. We also have a team of volunteers here today in training for our hybrid service next week. On High Watch, we have practitioners Kathy Mathiasen, Teresa Greco, Julia Washington, Levader Jones, and Marge Larrick White, among other dedicated practitioners. Our invocation and benediction are offered by practitioner Marilyn Kirk, and our talk today is delivered by Reverend Kamatara Johnson, who will address chapter 14 of our current book, Your Redefining Moments by Dennis Merritt Jones. We'll now join together in a reading of our vision and mission statements. Vision, transforming our world with the power of love in action. And mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. I now invite Marilyn to the podium for the invocation.
Thank you, Chris. And again, I offer my welcome also to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. And at this time, I'd like you to just take a moment and if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, just uncross your legs or uncross your arms and just find that space within you that is open and willing to accept and receive. And so what I know today is that God is all there is. That there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. I know that I am one with Spirit as well as every person who's attending. I'm one with each person and with all the planet. And so today, join with me in blessing everyone who's within the sound of our voices, whether online or in person or even later, and recognize and know that each person is blessed. I bless Reverend Kamatara and her message today. I bless the sound and tech people, all the practitioners who join in support of Rio Grande Center, the platform assistant, our minister search process. Bless the volunteers and the musicians and those who are keeping high watch for us. And I also bless every person's finances and good health. I'm grateful today for our city, our state, our country, for fathers, and especially for our African American brothers and sisters as they celebrate Juneteenth. Grateful for our center, and just know with me that every person is experiencing good health, peace, and joy, and all needs are met. I release these words to the action of law, knowing it is already done. Thank you, Great Spirit. And join with me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Marilyn. Our spiritual reading today is taken from the Science of Mind textbook on page 490. The piece is entitled The Ascending Scale of Life, and in it Holmes references 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 7 to 12. We are changed from glory to glory. This implies that the divine scale is ever ascending. There is no end to the divine nature, and therefore no end to the possibility of our expressing it. But we must behold it. We must look steadfastly into this reality if we are to image it in our own minds. Here is no forlorn outlook, no limited concept. All that God has or is belongs to us and is ours to make use of. We are not to separate life from living, but unite the two into a perfect one. The thing and the way it works, the glory and the image of the glory in common affairs of everyday life. Nor hath eye seen, nor can tongue tell, the greater possibility of any soul. Only God has revealed this through his Son, and this Son is each one of us, from the apparent least to the apparent greatest. The world is saturated with divinity, immersed in reality, and filled with possibility. We must take this divine possibility and mold it into a present actuality in everyday experience. This is the way to freedom, the pathway to peace and happiness. And now we have a special number of music from Catherine McGill. Catherine McGill is a well-known award-winning singer and songwriter living in Albuquerque. Her influences are broad. She started singing at the age of 2 in the Sunshine Band Choir at the Mount Calvary Baptist Church in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And she has continued to use her voice to heal, empower, and uplift audiences all over the world. Currently, Catherine's largest focus is on her roles as founder and director of the New Mexico Black Leadership Council and the New Mexico Black History Organizing Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Catherine McGill.
Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am. Do I fit in? Make believing is hard alone out here on my own. We're always proving who we are, always reaching for that rising star to guide me far, shine me home out here on my own. But when I'm down and I'm feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Won't you be strong for me? Won't you belong to me? Help me through. Help me need you. Until the morning sun appears, making light of all my fears. I dry the tears I've never shown out here. But when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, won't you be strong for me? Won't you belong to me? Help me through. Help me need you. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? I may not win, I can't be thrown out here on my own, out here on my own.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for that powerful message and song. Today, we are blessed to have our friend, Reverend Kamatara Johnson, speaking to us. Kamatara Johnson just graduated last week from the Holmes Institute and is now a Reverend of Science of Mind. Her core mission is to empower conscious evolution, and her ministry is currently with Circles USA, where she serves as the Chief Learning Officer. In that capacity, she trains communities across the United States and Canada to implement a highly successful anti-poverty initiative that strives to create a world that works for everyone in reality. Her talk this morning is entitled The Infinite Learning Curve. Welcome, Reverend Kamatara.
Hello, precious spiritual community, and happy Father's Day. What a beautiful day to honor all the men in our lives who have fulfilled that really special role of father figure, father, stepfather, grandfather, uncle, precious man. Thank you so much. I know that you've had a big impact in so many people's lives. And I know for me that my father was definitely one of my first teachers. And I really appreciate that about my father. In fact, teaching and learning in our spiritual journey is exactly what we're going to be unpacking today. We're looking at chapter 14 of Dennis Merrick Jones' book, Your Redefining Moments. And chapter 14 is called Staying Teachable. So some of you might already know this, but I am a teacher. Through and through and through and through, I bleed teacher. So I became a teacher. I actually taught high school English for 23 years, and I knew I was going to be a teacher from the time I was 5 years old, because when I went to kindergarten, I loved it. When I got to get off the farm and I got to be in this beautiful building with all these exciting things, and my mind was on fire with learning, like the whole world was opening up to me. And I have to say, almost every school experience I have had has been like that. And I know not all your school experiences may have been like that, and I'm sorry, but mine were. It was exciting to go to elementary school, it was exciting to go to high school, and then college for the first round, and then my graduate degree, and then practitioner training, and then ministerial school. It's been amazing. I love learning. And I think that's why I became a teacher, because I wanted to share that excitement, that mind on fire experience, the whole world expanding for you kind of experience with everyone. So I absolutely love learning. And actually, if you look at neuroscience, which I find really fascinating, our brains are hardwired to learn. Our brains are actually malleable. And maybe you've heard the phrase, what fires together, wires together. So your neurons fire, like, oh, I'm having this experience. And then those neurons wire together, and then they make a little groove in your brain, like a neural pathway. And the more that we do that, the more, the groove gets a little deeper, and it's a shortcut. Now I know how to do that thing. And so not only are we learning, we're creating memories. So we're actually hardwired to always be learning. And in the book, Dennis Merrick Jones goes a little bit further. Not just that our brains are hardwired for learning, he writes, your soul is hardwired for this mission, which is in part to explore unknown territory and gather new soul-expanding information through direct experience. Isn't that a great definition for life? That's our life story. And if any of you have studied Joseph Campbell, ooh, he's one of my favorites, you know that he is a comparative mythologist. So he looked at all different stories and all different cultures and all different times, places, and he said, I see a pattern here. There's this one story that just keeps getting repeated. Isn't this interesting? So he called that story monomyth, like mono, one, myth, story. Monomyth, but in layman's terms, what we call that nowadays is the hero's journey. And if you've been following along in this book, you know the hero's journey has been sprinkled all throughout this book. But let's take a moment to really think about it, because the hero's journey is directly tied to how we learn and grow and what we experience in this lifetime. So the hero's journey. There is a reluctant hero, someone who gets the call to adventure, and boy, is there resistance. If you're feeling resistance right now, guess what? You probably have a call to adventure. It's kind of like Moses saying to God, you got the wrong fella, God. And God just says, I don't think so, and pushes him out the door, and Moses does it. So yes, there is a reluctant hero who will find somehow, some way to answer the call. He or she will cross the threshold and get on the path. He or she will have a guide. He or she will overcome many obstacles, slay the dragons, do all the things, all the episodes and chapters, and then win the prize and return home a changed and deepened person, a new person. So that storyline, that is our life storyline, that is every storyline, asks some interesting questions. So I'm going to ask a few questions of you, and maybe you want to write them down, little paper and pencil moment, and you may want to consider this as your week goes on. Okay. What is just beyond your comfort zone that might be calling to you? What might you be feeling a bit of resistance around? What would it take for you to cross the threshold, to just launch you and get out on that next chapter of your journey? Who are your guides right now? Do you have an ally, a teacher, someone who's helping you? What is your current quest right now? And really, if you look at all the different journeys through the hero's cycle of your life, is there a through line, a common thread that goes through each quest and journey you've been on? In teacher terms, we call that the essential question. What is your essential question? I love essential questions. When I was teaching high school, it didn't matter which English class I was teaching, my essential question was always, are you the hero of your own journey? And guess what my essential question is of my own ministry nowadays? It's the same thing. Are you the hero of your own journey? Are you empowered to take your life back and to learn and create the life that you want? That's my essential question. So as we're looking at the hero's journey and how we learn and experience life, let's go even a little bit deeper. Here's another question for you. In whatever you're experiencing right now in your life, do you feel like you're stuck in a loop? Like you're just spinning your wheels in the mud? Or are you really learning? Because if you're not learning, yeah, you're in the loop of insanity. Like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Oh yeah, that is not learning. back when I was a mentor teacher and I was teaching teachers how to teach, helping new teachers, I used to say, well, hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing as teaching. There's only learning. I can present opportunities for people to learn and grow, and they can either take it or not. Just because I covered it doesn't mean they learned it. Just because a person had this experience doesn't mean they learned it. Until that student can own it and apply it and use it on their own, they have not learned it. And there's no judgment around that. It takes whatever it takes. It is what it is. But there's no such thing as teaching. And from the book, I loved this quote. It was from Paulo Coelho, from The Pilgrimage. Teaching is only demonstrating that it is possible. Learning is making it possible for yourself. So can we take our learning to the next level and not just be in the loop of insanity? So here's a simple example. When I was teaching high school at a very large school in Albuquerque, oftentimes I would have a student come in, guns blazing, and just say, oh, this horrible school, and I'm gonna go to this other school, and this other school has these wonderful things, and I'm gonna have the best time there, and I am out of this popsicle stand. And they leave. And then, 2, 3, 4 semesters later, lo and behold, here's the student again, back on my roster. And I'll say to the student, oh, how was your experience at that wonderful school you were going to go to? I know you were really excited about that. And they would say, oh, that crummy old school, they're the worst. They have this problem and that problem. And then I would just do the timeout. Okay, let's hold on a second, because that sounds an awful lot like what you said about this school. Now, between that school and this school, what is the common denominator? Oh, right? Okay, we know the answer. And in a moment of irony, Spirit decided that I had to learn that lesson too. So I was at that beautiful, large public school for, probably 10 years, and the last year or two got pretty gnarly. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna need to change schools. So I shifted to a very small charter school, teaching some different grades, and I thought that would do the trick. And I lasted about 2 years. And then I thought, well, then that's just not the right fit. I'm gonna change schools again. And then I got to another school, small charter school, and this time I was teaching middle school instead of high school, and I was still miserable. So I had to ask myself the exact same question. Well, Kamatara, what is the common denominator in these experiences? It's me. I need to make a different choice. I now can see the pattern and I can choose differently. That is learning. So then I'm no longer in the loop of insanity. I'm getting into the deepening concentric circles of learning. That's a totally different experience, right? And I know sometimes it might feel like Dante's Inferno in the circles of hell, but don't think of it that way. Let's think of it as deepening concentric circles, peeling back the layers of what we need to learn. And so when something comes up again, because you know it well, instead of beating yourself up and saying, oh my gosh, I have to learn that lesson again. I thought I was done with you. Could we instead say, oh, hello, old friend. Welcome back. I guess you're here for more. What else could I learn in this moment? Let's have tea. Yeah, time to have a sit down with your demon. Get things back into proportion. Learn what needs to be learned. And really go from just a memory of, oh, I've seen this before, to actually learn, which means you have gained wisdom. And that's a formula Dennis Merritt Jones has in this book. He doesn't exactly say it this way, but here's the formula I'm concocting from this chapter. Memory plus learning equals wisdom. And I love how he describes it. Here's the quote from the book. Wisdom is a collection of our past learning experiences lodged in our memory bank, remembered and drawn upon when needed, and then applied to the issue in the present moment in a manner that affects a desired outcome in the future. Our toughest life experiences can dig the well from which we draw our deepest wisdom if we are conscious enough to learn from those experiences. So we're not digging ourselves a grave, we're digging ourselves a well of wisdom from which to draw in tough times. Could we shorten the turnaround time when we realize that we're stepping in it? Or, oh, there's that pattern again. Oh, hello, old friend, there you are. Isn't that interesting? And then each time we do that, remember what fires together, wires together. We're making a neural pathway to train ourselves to do something different until it just becomes part of who we are. It's incorporated, we learned it, and then we have a shortcut for next time. But don't be deceived, just because we can make shortcuts, it does not mean that learning ever ends. It is the hero's journey, it's cyclical, like everything in nature. We learn and expand, or we contract and we stagnate. So we know, we are growing and expanding. I was really disappointed to learn that fact, I have to admit. When I was a little younger, I was studying the Dalai Lama and the Mother Teresa, just beautiful role models. And I thought, wow, I want to grow up to be them. Like, that's the finish line for me. Could I just be up to that level? That would just be it. If I could arrive there. And then I read some of their personal correspondence and, Mother Teresa's diary that was so moving and profound. And to see how even she struggled with herself and her learning curve and her flaws. And I just threw my arms like, you're kidding me. If Mother Teresa can't cross the finish line, how on earth could I possibly ever do it? And I know you're probably chuckling right now because that's just not the right paradigm. That's not the way this works. As Dennis Merritt Jones writes, staying teachable is a lifetime practice that lifts you beyond the danger of ever thinking you have arrived at a point of completion. There is no finish line. We are always learning, growing, expanding. And honestly, you can never arrive because there's nowhere to go, because I'm infinite, so I'm already there. Exactly. I have access to the infinite warehouse of possibilities and knowledge should I but order up and remember who and what I am. Again, from the book, I love how Dennis Merritt Jones writes this. You are an individuated spark of infinite light, and there is no edge where it ceases to be. Given this understanding, can you see how becoming who you were born to be is a pilgrimage back to the one from which you came? Life lessons are the universe's way of directing you back to your authentic self, plunging you more deeply into the infinite depths of original self. And isn't that a beautiful description for this thing called life? Could we recognize that as the ultimate monomyth, the ultimate hero's journey, maybe the essential question to find our authentic selves? We are here by divine appointment. We are learning and experiencing exactly what we are supposed to be learning and experiencing. If we can stay open to the fact that everything is a lesson, nothing is a mistake. Everything is used by spirit. It's a very economical system here. And if we can stay open at the top, just like our teaching symbol, the V is me. I am open at the top. Ernest Holmes was the first one to say, if you stop with me and you think I'm the end mark, the finish line, you have missed the boat. I hope you better go beyond me. Then it's like worshiping the doorposts as opposed to walking through it and seeing what's next. So we are on this higher path. There are continual lessons of cause and effect. Again, from Joseph Campbell, the universe always strikes you at your weakest point because that's what most needs strengthening. And that's the way we can keep learning. Cause and effect. We keep working on our own BS, our belief system. And then we can really move ourselves along. In fact, that's the name of the game here, conscious evolution. And I know you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's my little soapbox that we in our lifetimes are witnessing an historic moment. It's the evolution of evolution itself. We are shifting from unconscious evolution that happens by chance into conscious evolution that happens by choice. And in our teaching, faith, and philosophy, we believe in that choice. And so as we're learning, here's what you get to choose. You get to choose the pace of your learning. How fast or slow do you want to go? You get to choose the depth of your learning. How deep do you want to go? You get to choose the quality of your learning. How rich do you want it to be? And could we view it as an honor, not a burden? This is an honor that we are here and we incarnated and we get to have this experience, this expansion, and to win the ultimate prize. In fact, did you know the ultimate prize is in our we believe statements? Let's just look at those. Again, in every edition of the Science of Mind magazine towards the front, or on our website, rgcsl.org, about us, we believe. You'll see it. Okay, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is surely to be attained by all. That sounds a lot like nirvana, if you happen to be Buddhist. So we are learning for that end game, to be free. We are liberation theology, to be free of the experience of discord and suffering. That's why we're learning. That's why we do this. So our infinite souls are ever expanding, yes. But let's also consider the impact that it has right here on this plane of existence. From Brené Brown, one of my faves, one day you will tell your story of how you have overcome what you're going through now, and it will become part of someone else's survival guide. You will share from your wisdom well and nourish some other traveler who needs the waters, the healing waters of what you have experienced and what you know. You will be the guide for someone else's hero's journey. Wouldn't that be a delicious place to be in? In fact, that is the definition of a bodhisattva while we're talking about Buddhism. A bodhisattva is someone who is enlightened, has reached a state of Buddhahood, but even though they could go on to paradise because they've released all their suffering and they have ultimate wisdom, yes, but they look at humanity and this planet and these beautiful people and all their messy goodness, and they have compassion. And they say, you know what? I'm staying. I want to empower other people on their journey to find the same wonderful things that I discovered, or to find their own wonderful things, but to nourish that journey. In fact, I did see somewhere where someone said, a bodhisattva is a Buddha with their sleeves rolled up. Could we just get arm deep into life and take that higher path and share from our wisdom well. Because then we really are the Buddha with our sleeves rolled up in the here and now, and then we can savor the infinite learning curve that is this thing called life. Namaste. It's our prayer time now, so let's take this to prayer. I deepen into that space where I know I have learned that there is just this one loving source, the all that is. There's something sacred going on that is expressing as me, as you, as we, as us, as this thing called life, and even beyond what we can understand. This is where love shows up, where learning shows up, where experience shows up, where memories are created, and where wisdom is born. And so in this space of recognizing the divine, I know that this is what launches the yearnings in our heart, the call to adventure, this connection with the divine, to express our authentic beings even more deeply and richly than ever before in new and expansive ways. I know that this is spirit-driven, that our guide on the side is always love. And the way that we show up in the world, we are God in action. We are the heroes of our own journey on that path of love. And every dragon and obstacle that comes up to slay is exactly perfect for each one of us. And I claim in that moment the grace and the strength to be the hero of that journey, to allow the divine unfoldment, and most of all, to learn the lesson, to win the prize, to evolve, to reach that ultimate goal, to be free of discord of every nature. I claim that for each one of us, even if only in glimmers in this lifetime. I know that it is an absolute blessing as we each are on our own path, experiencing our own journey. And I am so grateful for the journey we get to share. I might be your guide, you might be my guide. We are sharing this beautiful journey together that is so rich and bountiful and blessed. And so with heartfelt gratitude for how this whole thing works, the way the universe is rigged in our favor, winner every time, a lesson learned every time, I am so grateful for the bounty of this beautiful lifetime and the bounty of this beautiful spiritual community. And so knowing that each person is divinely guided and divinely blessed, I surrender it all into the divine, knowing that all is well and unfolding in perfect order for each person now. And feel free to say with me or type into the chat, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. And thank you so much, Reverend Kamatara. We appreciate you and your encouraging, inspiring, and freeing message this morning. It is now time to share our abundance. There are multiple ways to give, which are scrolling across the screen now, and we are sincerely grateful for all you can share. Please say the giving affirmation with me. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And now we have another song from Catherine McGill.
Hey, this is a song that I wrote quite a few years ago now, and it's still relevant. A friend of mine told me if you're not doing something that is fun, stop doing it. Do what you love, right? Well, you might be living life in quiet desperation, searching for a purpose, needing inspiration. You might be laying low, feeling kind of stuck. Well, I got news for you that just might change your luck. Do what you love, and your good will come to you. Do what you love, and the riches will come too. Do what you love, and your gifts will make a way. Do what you love, do it today. Well, you think that sounds too hard, can't change the way you live. No point in starting over. Kathy, I got nothing left to give. Well, if you remember what you wished for before you settled in, if you get back to that moment, well, you can start again. Do what you love, and your good will come to you. Do what you love, and the riches will come too. Do what you love, and your gifts will make a way. Do what you love, do it today. Take a leap of faith and just watch the net appear. There's a space only you can feel. There's a dream only you can make real. Get out of the way, let your wishes come true. Do what you love, start it today. Yeah. Do what you love, and your good will come to you. Do what you love, and the riches will come too. Do what you love, and your gifts will make a way. Do what you love, do it today. All right?
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. So let us bless these offerings together. O divine giver of life, we gratefully accept these and all your gifts on behalf of our congregation and its ministry. We bless each gift and giver and declare that the blessing returns to the giver 1,000-fold. And now I'll turn the service over to Dr. Norm Dawson for announcements.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to today's Possibilities for the Week. We are a community, and we have a lot of things going on here besides just the service. So this morning, due to technical difficulties and other omissions, I brought my old-fashioned way to record and talk about our announcements. So it's going to take me a while to get through these, but I promise you it'll be short. But actually, I've condensed it down to just a few pages, and even that is even going to be shorter. So, welcome. Okay, first we have a new discussion group called Gather, and that's being held by Yvette Trujillo, and she already had one, or is going to have one this Thursday on the 25th. This will be a monthly event, once a month, in person, down here at the center. Boy, it's great to be here. I mean, this is just beautiful. I've been here in a while, about a year. So this will be on the last Friday of every month, and Yvette promises to make this a lively springboard event. You know, like YMCA. Well, it may not be that way, but what can I say? All right, then we also have a Course in Miracles study group, and she's been here, and she's done this before, Nancy Bowers. That's going to be Thursday from 6 p.m. until 7:30 here. And then be sure, if you don't have a Course in Miracles book, we've got some in the bookstore, so come on down and grab one. Did you know that we're having... That's called the silent auction. Silent auction beginning today, June 20th. And that's going to be going through July 4th. And you need to take a look at the bulletin to be able to find out what the details are for how you can contribute this fundraiser of the silent auction. It goes live tonight. Wow. All righty, check your bulletin for the details. Okay, next we have a bookstore sale. So we're getting rid of we're trying to reduce the gift items and selling them at 30% off. So if you've ever wanted to come down here and get some of those gift items, come on down and take it from there. Okay, next the transition. We actually have been doing something to get a new minister here, and they're having a co-creation process that's going to be in July. That's going to be Reverend Kathy Hearn and Reverend Christine Green will be leading this, and then there's going to be 3 events in July processing this information, so that on July 18th there will be a Sunday service, and they're going to be sharing all of this stuff here with us today. So it's really important that you're involved in this process, because ultimately the new ministers coming up, they're going to be part of the process of you guys being involved. So stay tuned. Hey, I got a message from the board. Thank you very much. The message is, guess what? Reverend Karen Lindsley will continue to be our interim minister until September. So we're going to keep her around for a while until we get a minister involved. Now she's going to be here June 25th, right here in person. And actually she's going to be here delivering the message next Sunday. So come on down June 25th, Friday, and you get a chance to spend some time with her and ask her some questions and see what she's up to and all that kind of good stuff. And then, well, let's see what else here we have. Oh, yes. And then the Compassion Ministries Resource Center. This is Pride Month in June, and they have 2 valuable resources you can connect to. Go to the bulletin, but you can find out about the Transgender Resource Center of New Mexico and also the Casa Q. And both of those provide resources and opportunities for people to get information about LGBTQ. You know, I've always tried to find out what LGBTQ meant, and I never could get a straight answer. So now I know. Okay, folks, that's time for the comedy hour to end today, but don't forget, the Zoom will meet right after this. And by the way, we've been discussing whether we should have this Zoom event right after service, since we're going to be meeting here. So if you want to continue the Zoom for people who can't come, be sure you let Reverend Karen know or Carmela know. So thank you for being here for Sunday morning announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Norm. And I have one more announcement that I'm very happy to promote, and that is that my partner in crime, Greg Gardner, practitioner, and myself will be offering a class in person and or on Zoom starting this Tuesday. And this class is called The Power of Your Word. You have to have taken Foundations or Beyond Limits, but then we're going to go even deeper and explore more carefully the spiritual practices, including affirmative prayer. And this will be a way for you to create situations and affirmations and treatments that will address your own personal desires and needs for yourself and for others. So it will be helpful for you to go ahead to the website and sign up. There is a $99 deposit to hold your place, and installment payments are available. This, again, will start on Tuesday, June 22nd. We'll go for 8 weeks till August the 10th at 6:30 to approximately 9:30 Mountain Time. And so we're just really excited. There's 2 books that we will be using. One is called Can We Talk to God, which I have right here. Where is it? Oh, okay. Can We Talk to God? And the other one is How to Use the Science of Mind, both by Ernest Holmes. And I believe we have some in the bookstore. If not, you can go to Amazon or your favorite bookstore and find those. So if you are unable to sign up, whatever, just show up and we will get everything taken care of. Okay? That's great. And so now I believe it's time for us to just close up shop here and move into our beautiful day. So if you will just join with me in the benediction. Just thank you, Spirit, for this day. Thank you for the wonderful message from Reverend Kamatara, and to know that learning is something we do all of our life and that we are our own hero. I open myself today to an ever-expanding good. I allow Spirit to express my life as clarity, understanding, and freedom. I'm thankful and joyously receive this good as each of us go forth on this special day. I'm confident that my thoughts are cleared of all that is unlike Spirit, so I simply allow the creative power of the universe to bring forth a new experience in my life and spiritual understanding, clarity, and freedom. So knowing that mind works infallibly to express in my life spiritual truth of wholeness and perfection, I let the perfect activity of mind fulfill this word. It is done, and so it is. Amen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful